Welcome time. It's time to get away. Today we're heading to the Caribbean. Sounds nice.
Yes, travel journalists Kinga Phillips and Justin Walter joining us together. It is great to see you guys. You just got back from this amazing trip we want to hear about. Bonaire. Tell us exactly, where is Bonaire?
Yeah, Bonaire is part of the ABC Islands in the Dutch Caribbean. You have Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. It's located within about 100 miles off the coast of Venezuela.
And it's really easy to get to, you guys. It's about a 3-hour flight from big cities in the US like Atlanta, Miami, Houston. And you can come in on Saturday, so you do have to be selective about your flights. But we hopped over from Curacao. That's us flying in on a little plane. And look at that water.
It is gorgeous. So we have some other questions to get to, but I want to do a personal question. So for you guys, why that island? Of all the amazing islands in the Caribbean, why that specific spot?
Because Bonaire is known as the absolute mecca of scuba diving. If you are a scuba diver, you have heard about this island and you are a kid in a candy store, and we will get more into that because it is pretty cool.
All right. For those that don't look like you and Justin, have they figured out a scuba suit that's a little bit more appealing to wear?
And slimming?
Yes.
Yeah. You know that scuba suits come in all shapes and sizes, and it is a sport that anyone of any athletic ability, shapes, or size can do and enjoy. And what's great about Bonaire, like Kinga said, we've been scuba diving all over the world. It is unique, so different than other places, and Kinga can share why.
Well, first, I am going to be real honest. No, scuba suits are not flattering, and you always feel like you're a little sausage going into a casing putting that on. So I just have to be honest about that. But once you get into that scuba suit, which isn't necessarily necessary in Bonaire because the water is really warm there, but like I said, it is an absolute mecca for scuba divers. And what makes it so special is that most places that you go to, you have to book a dive trip, you have to get on a boat, you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go diving. Bonaire, you show up and you have to do an introductory dive so that they know that you're capable and competent and your buoyancy is good. And then it's a free-for-all. They have over 86 dive sites, and the best thing to do is to rent a truck so you can put your tanks in back, keep filling them up, and the dive sites are available to you 24 hours a day. So you want to go night diving, day diving. There are amazing sites like right here. We're diving the Hilma Hooker. It's a wreck that goes down just a little bit below 100 feet. And then this is us at the salt pier. This is Justin swimming around through the pillars that are just encrusted with all this coral and sponges. The macro life in Bonaire is what makes it so special. There are over 350 species of fish, just beautiful sea turtles, colorful sponges, and the fact that you can do it from shore and by yourself is kind of unheard of, and it's what's put Bonaire on the map for scuba divers.
Kinga, real quick, before we move on, I just wanted to ask you, just for clarification on my part so I understand it correctly. So if you're scuba certified, do you still have to do that introductory, or is that just for people that want to go over there and try it? It's almost like a crash course for you to enjoy this.
Great question. So everyone has to do that introductory course. And the reason for that is because they want you to be safe, since you can go dive by yourself. You can, of course, sign up with guides and go with guides, but you can go by yourself. So they want to make sure you're safe. They also are very protective of their ecosystem. So they want to make sure that you can dive, that you know your buoyancy, that you're not going to be bouncing off the bottom, off of the sponges. So everybody has to, every time they come in, do this introductory dive, which I think is very smart.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of us who are not scuba divers, what is there to do on land? I know there's a great national park there as well.
Yeah, so Washington Slagby National Park is in the northern part of the island. It takes about a third of the island. It was established in 1969. The two main ways to explore it, there's two different driving routes. Here's Kinga driving. I don't drive stick shift, so Kinga had to drive. I was our map reader because I've never learned how to drive stick. So, there's two different routes, a short route, which goes through the interior, then to the coastline, and then a long route, which goes along the entire coastline. This national park is loaded and layered with beautiful beach after beautiful beach, turquoise waters all along the jagged coastline, the slate-looking colored rock. There's pink sand beaches. This is one of our favorite beaches that we went to, as you see. Kinga sat in the water. She picked up, the sand, and she had a pink heart in her sand. Here's a part of the Washington Slagby National Park I love, where you can walk on the coastline and then jump in the water, go cliff jumping. In this spot, there was a group of people waiting for someone to be the first one to go. I said, is anyone going to cliff jump? I'll do it. So once I did it, I started doing it after.
Because it was shallow. They were waiting to see if you'd hit the bottom.
Oh,
Wow.
that's actually what I
Is it
thought when I
safe?
looked at it, because you can see something in the water. I don't know how deep it is, but you're gutsy, man. You're definitely gutsy. And by the way, Justin, you look so out of shape in that video, you know, with the abs and the 0%
The two of
body
them,
fat.
both of them.
I mean, I'm just
yeah.
like, dude, wow. What are we advertising? All right, in all seriousness, tell us about some caves. Are those are
Yeah, so that was the national park, which we really enjoyed. We were actually really surprised at how gorgeous and stunning and beautiful it was. And I would say anyone who goes to Bonaire, take the time to go to the Washington National or Slagby National Park.
And this is the caving. So once you've explored the park, once you've done scuba diving, and you want to kind of stay on dry land. So I'm going to get kind of scientific here, put up my little glasses. So the karst topography, which is essentially limestone, it's the same type of topography that you'd find in Florida. And we know we have all these caves in Florida. You have the limestone, you have the springs. And because Bonaire used to be an underwater seamount, and then it rose up above the water, so now you have over 400 caves. Now you can't explore those by yourself. That would be very dangerous. But you can go with a guide. So we went with Cave Tours Bonaire, and we descended down into this cave. Stalactites, stalagmites, it's beautiful. These caves are tens of thousands of years old. And what's so cool is that you look around and you see fossilized coral heads. So it's stunning. And our guide is showing off, like, I was hungry the whole time because he's like, here's cave bacon, here's cave popcorn. I'm like, why is everything named after food? Now I'm hungry. But what's really cool is you can do the dry tour, or you can actually do the wet tour, meaning you get in your swimsuit like we are here and you snorkel and dive through the cave. Obviously, again, only do this with a guide. He knows how to get you in and back out, which is really important. But it was just such a cool, unique, spectacular experience. It's really warm in the cave, so cool. And you can do these like swim throughs and dives. Magnificent place.
Yeah.
That looks gorgeous.
It
Justin, couldn't help but notice you were walking a little bow-legged. Is that because you did the donkey tour? I'm kidding about that one. You weren't, but I thought that would be a good segue. It was either that or Megan's used to working with jackasses, so let's talk about the donkeys.
Oh, jeez.
What's interesting is on Bonaire, when you're driving through the island, there's wild donkeys all over the island. So as we were driving through the island, we would just, there we go. We would just stop and open our window in our car, pet the donkeys, and they're roaming wild. But unfortunately, Henry, I did not get out of the car and hop on one of those donkeys.
Oh, that looks
look how
awesome.
cute Kinga went
Yeah.
to the donkey. Oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
All right, finally, tell us about land sailing.
Yeah, so Bonaire Land Sailing Adventures. This is an adventure that I've never seen anywhere around the world. I don't think Kinga has either. It's a family-run business that came over from New Zealand to Bonaire specifically because the winds on the island are so frequent, almost 365 days a year. You get into a three-wheeled, almost like a go-kart there. You see Kinga right there. They have a sail, and then you use the wind to basically go sailing on land. So land sailing, obviously, that's why it's called land sailing. This is a family-friendly adventure. We were obviously adults and big kids doing it. There were kids, older grandparents, entire families that were there enjoying the land sailing adventure. We laughed. We had a ball. You see the videos of us doing it separately. Then we also did get in one car together and did it together and had a lot of fun doing it. So it's just another unique way to explore an adventure around Bonaire. There's Kinga laughing. We had a blast doing the land sailing adventure. And again, super, super family friendly, no athleticism needed here. And it's really fun to try and navigate the winds of Bonaire.
I was like Snoopy. I got in the sidecar that's made for children to film him. I just needed the little scarf that like flaps in the wind. I would have been Snoopy.
I love it.
King and I know real quick before we go, because I do want to ask. I mean, this looks like an amazing vacation and a lot of fun. Comparatively speaking to similar trips, how is the affordability on this? Is this what, I'm just curious for pricing.
Yeah.
Scuba diving is not an inexpensive sport. So, people who are coming here to scuba dive, you are going to have to rent the tanks. You are going to have to rent a car. That's really the only way to get around. There are no big resorts, not really like giant all-inclusives. So you do have a selection of places where you can stay. I think like most other places, look, the Caribbean is not an inexpensive destination overall, but you can tailor it to yourself. You can do as much or as little, select the places you stay, select the places you eat to fit your specific budget.
Yeah, and for example, the national park that we talked about, it's only $45 per person to get in. You could spend an entire day or two in the national park. We were only there a couple hours. We wish we could have gone there way longer than we actually did explore it.
We loved it.
Great info and a great destination as always that you guys are showing us. Thank you so much for sharing your adventures. You can follow Justin's travels by visiting his website, justinwalter.com, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, ATW Justin. And you can get more information about Kinga on her website, kingaphillips.com, or follow her on Instagram at Kinga Phillips.